Hello everyone, this is Benjamin, and today I'm making a video just because I was a little bit bored. I was looking for something to do and realized, well, I haven't really done anything much on my YouTube channel recently. Like, I've uploaded a couple small funny videos, but nothing actually like prepared, I guess you could say. So today I'm going to go over this new feature that I've been working on for Toontown Offline. As some of you may know, we're working on a brand new update which uses exclusively Toontown Online source and of course our own stuff. But actually, what I'm going to show today isn't necessarily something new, but some additions to an existing feature. So, if you've ever played some of the recent Toontown Offline updates, you'll know that we add so many new magic words to the game just to screw around, mess around with, and one of those words, I forgot what update it was added in, but one of those words is called Spawnprop. And basically it allows you to spawn an assortment of props right where your toon's standing. So I'm going to go use it, and let's see what it can do. So you can either type in Spawnprop, which was the original naming of the word on 2.5, or another new feature we have in 1.0 that will be coming out is Aliases. All magic words will have a shitload of aliases. So for example, instead of typing Spawnprop, you can just type prop, and there you go. That's perfectly fine. So prop, let's see, prop train. So that'll spawn a train right where our toon was standing. Now before, it was just that. You just spawn a prop and that's it. You know, oh look, a cool little train in the burg. Awesome. And you know, that is pretty cool and all. But I've been adding a new feature, so you can just click on the train and it'll bring up this nice little interface. So instead of the position of the train just being static, you can actually use this interface to change where it is. So you can move it a little this way across the X coordinate, and it'll show you a little transparent outline of where it's going to be if you press submit. So when you're all done with your changes, you press submit, boom, the train moves here. You can move in each direction, so you can move across the Y direction. So you can move the train over here. You can even move it on the Z coordinate, so you make it go down. You can have it be in the ground, or you can bring it up a little bit. You can have it float above the ground. Now you don't have to press these arrows and to be able to move it. You can simply type in a value. So say I want this at like 5.0, submit, there you go. Oh, it looks like the train's stuck in snow. But you can do more than just change the position. You can also change the rotation. So say I want the train looking at the 180 H coordinate. Boom, you completely just switched where it was looking. Now, depending on what prop you're using, it might change the position too. Because as you saw, it was like all the way over here, but now it's over here. That's just something to do with models. You really can't do anything about that. That's just how it is. But you can also change some other coordinates, so I can make it really look like it's getting stuck in the snow here. Change the P coordinate. But I don't want to mess with these too much, so I'm going to bring that to 0. I'm going to bring this to, I think it was like something like 320 or something like that. So, now another option we have is scale. So, I didn't say this earlier, but this feature is definitely not done yet. There's still much more I want to do with it, and you might see that shortly. But with the scale, you can change each individual scale axis. So it starts at 1, but you can increase it. So that's on the X-axis, that's on the Y, and that's on the Z. Press submit, it's twice as large as it was before. Now, right now, this does not have a limit. If I wanted to, I could have it actually, yeah, I can have it go up to like 10. Like, this is going to be a huge train. Boom. You have to page up to see that. But we're going to have a limit of 5. I know nobody likes limits, but honestly, you can do some trolling with this. So we don't want it to be, like, infinite. So we think 5 is a good cap. Let's see what the train would look like if it was 5. Alright, just scale this down a little bit. Alright, so even then, 5 is, you know, pretty damn big. But then again, the train's a big prop to begin with, but you get the point. I don't think you'll need any props bigger than this, to be honest. But as you see, it's quite annoying to scale up each individual axis. So instead of that, having to do each one, we're going to keep the ability to do each one, but I'm going to add like a little button so you can just change the entire scale all at once. It'll make it a little easier to use. But I'm going to just revert this back to 1. Now, if you notice also, You see here the name is train_1. I'm gonna edit the naming system a little bit before we release this update, but basically you're gonna be able to see a shitload of information about each prop. You're gonna have a unique name, so it'll say the name of the prop, and the underscore will be like which number it's considered in the zone. You're gonna have information saying who spawned it. You're gonna see yeah, so the account ID that spawned it. You're gonna see when it was spawned. You're gonna be able to delete it. You can't delete it yet, but we will add that. And if you are the creator of the prop, or if you are an administrator on the server, you'll be able to lock it. So as you can see, I just click the prop and then boom, it brings up this nice little interface. But if you lock it, I think either, I'm not sure, I haven't added it yet, but I either just won't show the interface, or I'll just like show a locked button and gray out all the buttons. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. If you have any suggestions for that, or any suggestions for the system at all, just leave your thoughts in the comments below. But yeah, so of course if you're an administrator, you can bypass the lock. That's not going to be a problem. So just more measures to prevent trolling. You know, if you see a shitload of trains around, all R5 scale, and you can't see anything in the playground, just contact a moderator of the server or like an administrator. They'll delete it for you. Actually, I think you can delete props yourself. I'm gonna add so anyone can delete a prop, which is why locking will be useful. If you don't want yours deleted, unless of course it's an administrator, you can just lock it. Otherwise, you'll be able to delete your props. But I'm going off on a tangent here because I have one final thing to show, which is the color scale. Now this interface will change a little bit too. Yeah, because I might want to add a slider in the future. You know how you have those color sliders and everything. But this you have to type in things manually or just use the buttons. So if I make the red go all the way down, I'm taking the red out of this model. I'm gonna go submit, boom. You see it's less red than before. It's more green and more blue than it was. If I make this go all the way down like 1 or something, then it'll be even less red. Yeah, you see you can barely see the red now. It's almost black. So yeah, you can really do a lot with changing the color scales of stuff. It kind of looks almost like Hackerlands in TTO, but I think it's a cool feature. Maybe people will make something look nice with it. Oh yeah, that looks very hackery right there. That's no good. But the max scale you can do is 255. That reverts back to normal. Now, obviously, you will only really see the preview of this if you change the color scale and you move it, which by the way you can do. So for example, I'll set the red to 2, but of course you can't see the transparent outline because the actual object itself has not moved, so it's literally one on top of the other. But you can change multiple at the same time before you have to press submit. So I will make this go over a little bit, and there, now you can see the outline and you can see the color is slightly different. I may try to make some way to see the outline of the color change without moving it, but for now that's just what I have to do. So yeah, I already discussed how I'm going to make it lockable. You can delete things. You're going to have a lot of information on a new panel. I may think about making an actual spawner within the GUI. So right now, what you have to do to spawn a prop is, like I said, prop, then type the name of the prop. But that can be a little bit annoying, so I might have like a hotkey. You bring up this GUI, and if you don't currently have one selected, it'll say please spawn a prop first. Then you can like press the arrows and go through all the possible ones. But maybe that's something along the lines in a future update. I'm not trying to put in too much work to this yet, but if people really like this, and I'm hoping they will, I think they will, then I'll of course make some updates to it. Of course you can make the scale even smaller if you want. So here, let's have a miniature train set. 0.1, 0.1, submit, boom, got a really nice small train over here. So this like new toolset offers a lot of power to make some nice scenes. We're going to be adding a lot more props too. In fact, I can show you some of them that we've been adding. So if I do prop FFC, of course that already existed, but prop logo will bring up a 3D version of the Toontown Offline logo. You might have seen in one of our videos on the Toontown Offline YouTube channel before, or Smoke Informant, I think, uploaded a picture or video on his YouTube channel before of it. Oh, let me make it. Oh no, I don't want to change the scale. No. I want to change the position. Yeah, so I think this model looks so good. Right now it doesn't have a backside, but I've actually, with Smokin's help, been modeling a backside to this, so it'll actually, you know, look a bit nicer than that. But I really like this. And another new prompt that I added was Smokin's Toontown stylized version of the Smash Ball. So prop Smash Ball brings in the Smash Ball. Now we're gonna have a bunch of other props. I'm not exactly sure which ones I'm gonna do, but we will add. I want to add at least like 50 more props. Adding them is really easy unless it's like a brand new model. I don't think we're gonna make any brand new models for props. We're just gonna use existing ones we have access to, whether they be from TTO or maybe some offline exclusive ones, or maybe I'll ask Smokin if he has any more little things like this that he'll let us add to the game. So we're gonna have a lot more variety in terms of props when 1.0 comes out, and I'm loving it, man. I love all this stuff you can do with the props. But another one actually is the cube. Now I'm not sure if we're gonna change this or not, and we will make it easier for people to do what I'm about to explain. But you can even spawn a white cube. Now what is the purpose of spawning a white cube? It looks kind of bare. Well, I'm hoping. Now, you know, I've never made pixel art myself because of the sheer amount of time and dedication it takes to do it. You know, I don't like making pixel art just for that reason. But I know some people do like to make pixel art, so we've just added this little cube here. So if you want to go to the color scale menu, say for example you want to make this red, right? You set that to 0. You set blue to 0. Make it a dark red. Let's make it 100. Boom, you have a dark red cube. You can spawn a bunch more cubes. Before you know it, you have pixel art in Toontown Offline. So I'm hoping some people do this. I don't know. I've been told that, you know, it's too much work, and trust me, it is too much work. That's why I don't really like making pixel art in games like Minecraft. It's just a lot of work. But if anyone's really dedicated, they could have their pixel art on a mini server. And of course, some other miscellaneous things I've been working with Spawnprop is, now I'm not too sure what the deal is on 2.5, but you could spawn props in, I think, a lot more zones than you could before. I think you can spawn it in every static zone, and what that means is like a playground area like this, or inside of a building, or on the street, but you can't do it in a newly generated zone. So say for example I go on the trolley and it brings me to the maze game, a zone where they have the maze game. You can't spawn a prop there. Or if you go in the VP, that's spawning a new zone just for that boss battle. You cannot spawn a prop there, but I believe you can spawn a prop in actually every other zone. I'm not sure if I allowed it to be spawned in estates, but if I didn't, I'll probably add that before 1.0. So I'm really aiming to give like a lot more versatility with this command. What's some other stuff? So yeah, if there's been bugs before where, okay, say for example you leave the zone, I go to Polar Place, and I come back, you will see all of the props that were there before. The only way they will ever go away is if someone deletes them. Now, I'm not going to do it for the purpose of this video because that is actually broken, but trust me, that'll be working when it comes out officially in 1.0. But that's the intended purpose. There's just a tiny little bug with it right now, that sometimes it won't respawn the props when you enter the zone, but we'll get that fixed. Don't worry about that. And aside from that, I think that's all the changes. Actually, no, there's one more. But honestly, you'd only do this if you were lazy. But when you spawn a prop, let's say FFC, you can now say what scale you want it to be. So if I want an FFC to spawn with a scale of 5, you just type 5. Spawns a big bucket of frizzy fried chicken with a scale of 5. It does it automatically for you instead of having to go and click it. But if you want to change it anyway, boom, you can change the scale back down to whatever you want. So let me change it to 2. Oops, I clicked off by accident. Scale that down to 2. You have a double size of FFC. So I'm really trying to allow for as many options as possible. If you have any suggestions for the Spawnprop command or for this interface that comes up, please let me know. Like I said, it's not final, and I probably mentioned all of the features that I plan to add to it. Actually, I could bring up a notepad. But I have a notepad document with a bunch of like ideas I have for it, but lots of them are bug fixes. Some of them are, you know, what I was talking about earlier. Oh yeah, okay, there's another panel that I want to add. I'm not sure if I'll get to it, but it'll basically be reparenting. So if you don't know code terms, reparenting is basically something in respect to another. So I could, for example, reparent this cube to the smash ball, and then that means whenever the smash ball would move, the cube would automatically move with it because it is reparented to the smash ball, if that makes any sense. So what's the use in reparenting? What would make bigger creations much easier to move? So for example, you could create pixel art and move the entire thing wherever you want it, or scale the entire thing as one big object instead of having to go on each individual pixel of whatever you decide to make and just to scale down each one, move it over a little bit to the left, make it go down a bit. No, you wouldn't have to do that. You would just reparent each cube to maybe a master cube or something like that, and it would just do it for you. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna get that in 1.0 yet. Of course, you know, something that's the main focus is still SOS, Seek Out Scrooge. So you know, these additions can't take too long to add, or else we're just gonna always lose track of time. Updates will never get out, but I want to at least try to, you know, make some nice improvements to hold people over, and hopefully people will enjoy it, because when I first made Spawnprop, I didn't know people would enjoy it as much, but there's been all sorts of funny screenshots and scenarios people have made with it, and that's just without this functionality. That's just, you know, doing prop, boat. Wait, is it boat or is it ship? It's ship. Yeah, there's just when people do that, and then they just move their tune around a bunch, you know, and they just spam it. Here, let me just do it. This is how people used to do it in the old days. They would used to do this. They would just like Control V into their chat box, and they would have a bunch of ships, and they would just hope that it would be positioned how they would like it. But now with this new interface, you can really fine-tune things. If you mess up, you can delete it. I think I've gone over it more than enough. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please keep track of the Toontown Offline website for more information and better feature updates. We try to do a blog post at least once a month to sum up the progress that has been made since the last one. Things are going along pretty good. We're still adding back some features. You might have seen on the recent blog post, we teased our new spellbook page, which is the new, well, not new, but revamped, I guess you could say, magic word page. So you can now do all sorts of nice things like search for a word. So any magic word that has the word cog in it, boom. Or maybe index. You know, we only have 2 of them done so far. Why was this added? That's not supposed to work yet. Whatever. Or you can see all commands that set something. There's 36 of them. And boom, you have 36 commands that do some sort of setting. And of course, you just click a word, you get more info. So, set gravity. What does that do? It sets your gravity. Then it gives you an example. Gives you any aliases and the access level. We might give more information here in the future. But yeah, we're still adding commands back. We're almost done. I mean, we do have 121, but there's still a handful left to add. Yeah, I think that about does it for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Leave any suggestions in the comments below. Message me on Discord if you want. And yeah, have a good day.